It's me here, Gina, and this is a weekly message video, weekly reading, weekly card reading video, and this is for March 6th to March 11th. And first, I just want to say happy March. And before I get to the cards, I just wanted to tell a bit about the overall energy of March, and I'm not going to give any kind of astrological March report or anything like that because that is not my expertise. However, I just kind of intuitively tuned into March, and March feels like a very energy action filled month, and it feels like month of a lot of things happening, a lot of new beginnings of different kind, and when we think so, March is a month when spring officially starts. Spring equinox is happening on March 20th, and if we think of spring, spring is like a new beginning, like uh, something new, fresh, um, snow melting wherever there is snow, and um, new greens growing, and um, everything that has to do with this new, fresh spring kind of energy. It is the overall energy in some way for March as well, kind of endings of something and beginning of something else. And it's literally and symbolically. And yeah, so that's basically the general kind of feel for March. And now let's get into the cards for this week. So these are all the cards together for this week. And here it goes one by one. First card is this, and for some reason I feel like we had it a few weeks ago already. The meaning of this card. This card represents a deity in Latvian mythology that is often mentioned as being a star in heaven. And with this card, the message comes to reach for the stars and to give yourself permission to dream, to dream of something bigger than you can actually think of or believe that it could happen, like something bigger, something that has no sort of a logical explanation or logical way known to you yet, how you would get there, but have that dream or dreams that are bigger than you can think of, and don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just have the dream, allow yourself to dream, and allow yourself to work towards that dream from where you are at right now, and using everything that is available to you right now at this moment. You might not have something big that you think you may need for working toward your dream, but um, if you think that you need to have that to start, then who knows, that start may never happen. So the best we can really do is to work with what we have right now and take one step at a time. And this seems like one of those things, messages about take one step at a time to move forward to and towards what you want, kind of like a very well known message in general. However, it's always a good reminder, especially at those times when we feel like giving up, when we haven't received yet or haven't reached yet what we wish for, and feel like giving up, then it's a good reminder to work with what we have. Keep reaching for those stars, those dreams, and keep working towards them one step at the time. And sooner or later, they will come true. They have to, if we are consistent and continue working towards it and have that belief that it's possible, whatever it is we dream of. So, yeah, that's the message of this card. Second card for this week is Fernflower. And now, yes, there is no such thing in the physical world as Fernflower. However, in Latvian mythology, in Latvian folklore, there are a lot of stories and tales and folk songs, folk rhymes about Fernflower, and it's the flower that blooms only one night a year, which is the longest day and the shortest night in summer solstice. And the belief is that the person who finds a Fernflower becomes extremely intuitive, clairvoyant, knows, sees, hears, understands everything. This person is even able to understand animals talk. And people go look for Fernflower on this longest day, shortest night, and it's believed that this flower blooms around midnight, and it's sort of magical. This card comes with a message that something that you have been looking for, wishing for, wanting for a long time is closer than ever. And it reminds to not always look for that logical way of how it's going to happen and what really is happening, especially if you feel like nothing's really happening in that area that you have wished for. To not look for that logical side of it, but believe that something magical is happening. I mean, it's no secret that there are many cases around the world where people experience something that does not have a logical explanation. People experience some kind of miracles happen, and they are not something that is like scheduled, or something that we can really plan step by step. Okay, this is how this miracle is going to happen. It just happens unexpectedly. mm, and this card, the message of this card, is like a reminder to believe that it is possible, and if it's happening with other people and in other people's lives, why not in yours? Why not in yours? And we don't need to know how, and just hold that belief. And the message is similar to that first card about having that vision, that dream, something that is bigger than we can even think of, um, like logically. And yeah, allow yourself to um, believe in something magical, miraculous, and possible, the possibility of something magical and miraculous happening, and keep going in the direction that you want to go, holding that belief, that holding that end vision, and wish and result, and holding that believe that it is possible. Not only that is possible, which you want to happen, but something even better than you can think of is possible. And the third card, I believe we just had it a couple weeks ago, Thunder. Thunder is believed to be one of the oldest gods in Latvian folklore, and one of the most important deities. Um, and the message that this card brings is that it's time to shake things up, time to get out of routine, time to start something new, time to spark up some aspect of our lives, some aspect of us, like our character, or ourselves, like something within us. Time to spark it up, or time to express it, and do something different. Time to do something different and change something for better, and start something new. Do maybe something that you've always done, but do it in a different way. Try a different approach. Especially if you've already felt like making changes, but haven't made them yet, have been procrastinating, then, well, this is time to just do it. And here comes also the reminder that the longer we have that feeling of doing something new, trying something new, yet we don't do it, it's not going to go away. That feeling of us wanting to, or us needing to, or us knowing that we need to do something new. But what's gonna happen, which like eventually sooner or later happens, that if we don't make that change, then some kind of outside us, some kind of something is going to happen that's going to force us to make those changes. And we might not always like to be forced to make these changes, and when we are being forced from the outside to make some kind of changes, it might not necessarily happen in a way that we would like it to happen, and it can get us frustrated and angry and get into this kind of a negative space. But there is a lot of power in us making that choice, the conscious choice to um, take that step towards changes, like take that first step and then next step and then the next step in doing something different and in making the changes ourselves, like for those changes starting within us, from us, that we uh, make a decision to make those changes and we make those changes. It kind of gives us more power to it, and we have more control on the changes we want to make or how we want to make. And again, that puts us in a better, like more positive space. Doesn't mean that there won't be any challenges along the way, but the overall energy is more positive compared to when we're forced to make changes. So that's it for this week, and seemed like all three of these cards kind of went along with the overall March energy that I shared at the beginning of this video about making changes and doing things different and believing that um, something good is possible, something better than we can even think of is possible. Just keep working towards it from where we're at and with what we have, and keep going and sparking things up. So yeah, that's it. And have a great week. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you in the next week's message video.